What's up, guys? Readiness Reviews here with you again, and I am just getting back from a gun show. In today's video, we'll be talking about my experiences at that gun show, along with the military surplus firearms market in general. We'll also go over what I came home with. So before we get into it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like seeing this military surplus firearms content here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and let me know in the comments what the Milsurp market is looking like where you're from. So we do these gun show report videos here on the channel on about a quarterly basis. Today's show was my very first gun show of 2024, and I was really surprised to see that there were an absolute ton of military surplus firearms on display. As we've come to expect in recent years, the prices of said military surplus firearms were pretty darn ridiculous though. The surplus firearms bubble has certainly not yet popped. The average Lee Enfield was $650 plus, M9130 Mosin-Nagants $650 plus, with most of them falling into that $800 plus category, which is completely crazy in my mind. There was an awesome selection of Mausers from all over the world. Mexican, Spanish, Argentine, Belgium, German, you name it, they had it. But on all of those, the price tags were just out of reach for me. $700, $800, $1,000, all way more than what I'm willing to spend. I was very happy to see a lot more ammo than I have at the more recent shows. There were several tables with the Bannerman ammunition that I just reviewed here on the channel. If you want to see that video, I'll link it up here for you right now. Bannerman is loading some cartridges that has been super difficult to get your hands on for a long time, and I was glad to see it in a retail environment. We arrived at the show basically when they were opening on day 2, and there were already a lot of people in attendance. The tables were absolutely loaded with guns, most of which were modern, but there were plenty of military firearms as well. We started on one side of the show and weaved our way table to table all the way to the other side. And even though I stopped for a ton of things that caught my eye, there was just nothing even close to the price range I was looking for. I really thought I was going to be coming home from this show empty-handed, but at the very last moment, all the way on the far side of the show, I catch a glance at this guy sitting all by his lonesome with a $300 price tag. This is a Russian M44 Mosin-Nagant Carbine with the folding bayonet. And I'm sure you guys are well aware that in this day and age, $300 for an M44 is a fantastic buy. As soon as I got my hands on this rifle, I knew 100% it was coming home with me. And as I'm standing there waiting for someone to check me out, another patron strolls up beside me and asks me, am I buying it? Because if I'm not buying it, he's buying it. I told him, yes, it's all mine. As always, I did try to haggle the price a little bit, but the truth of the matter is they already had this rifle very aggressively priced, so they weren't willing to budge. And so 3 beans it was. And for 3 beans, I don't think I could have done too much better than this M44, especially since I don't have a Russian M44 in the collection yet. There is one major issue with this specific rifle though, and that is this stupid bubbled rubber butt plate. Mosin rifles are notorious for having a short length of pull, and the carbines like this one are well known for being heavy recoiling rifles, so it's not uncommon to run across a Mosin carbine with one of these replacement butt plates. The truth is, these butt plates do absolutely nothing to mitigate recoil. They are like a hard rubber, and although they do add about an inch or an inch and a half to your length of pull, it is far better to just leave the original butt plate on the rifle. The bubbled butt plate didn't deter me one bit though, because earlier in the show, I noticed a table that had some Milsurp parts, and one of those parts just happened to be a Mosin-Nagant butt plate. So at the exact same show I got the rifle at, I was able to pick up a replacement metal Mosin-Nagant butt plate for only $8. So my whole investment was $308, and on the regular, rifles like this are catching 400 plus, 400, 450, 550, 600. In the time between filling out the 4473 on this rifle and picking up my replacement butt plate, I had 2 people offer to take it off my hands. One of those guys said that he sold one earlier that day for $850. Now I would never even dream of buying an Arsenal refurbished M44 for $850, but for $300, I would have been crazy to pass this rifle up. Now let's get a closer look at the specific example of M44 that I've added to my collection. Externally, this rifle is an excellent arsenal refinish condition. For collecting purposes, it would be more ideal to have a rifle that has not undergone arsenal refurbishment. But the way things stand, most of the M44s that you will encounter here in the United States have been refurbished, just like my example. It is a 1946 dated rifle made at the Eveshk arsenal. We have some proof marks here. That Y in a circle is a black powder proof mark. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that O in a circle has something to do with passing accuracy standards, and that K in a circle is also a proof mark. The serial numbers on the barrel shank, the bolt, and the magazine floor plate all match. But of course, Bubba has changed out our butt plate to this rubber atrocity, so the butt plate is no longer matching. Cleaning rod was included, but it's a little bit wobbly. The bluing on all of our barrel bands looks excellent, and the bayonet is in fantastic shape and is completely functional. This stock has undergone some type of repair in the past. You can tell where there's a piece of wood spliced in right here, and then they put in little wooden dowels to hold everything together. That has since been refinished over, so everything blends in fairly well. It's not at all uncommon to run across arsenal repairs like that. All of the blued surfaces are pretty much immaculate. Couldn't really ask for anything better as far as that goes. And other than the odd little scratch or dent, this stock is in pretty fantastic condition itself. She might be pretty on the outside, but that bore condition is what really counts. We'll do a quick simple muzzle test here. This is a Surplus 7.62 by 54R. Slide that into the muzzle and it stops right there. We have a nice clear rim of copper. So the muzzle looks like it's in pretty good condition. As you can see here, the condition on the bore looks pretty outstanding as well. The rifling is very sharp. I don't see any pitting, and there's even a good deal of shine, especially towards the chamber end. So aside from this post-war 1946 date and the arsenal refinishing, this M44 is about as close as possible to being the perfect example for my collection. I just can't stop smiling. I'm so happy I was lucky enough to run up on this rifle. Gun shows can be super disappointing these days. Sometimes the Milsurp selection is awful. Almost all the time the prices are super high, but gun shows never cease to surprise me when it comes to the deals you can score. At the moment, there is no hope of finding an M44 like this on the CNR market. In person at a gun show or gun store is about the only way that you're going to get a deal that you can be truly happy about. And so yes, gun shows are not what they used to be. The entry price is way too high, but finds like this one are what keep me coming back, and I plan to continue going to gun shows as often as I can for the foreseeable future. Milsurp collecting in 2024 is a grueling hobby to be a part of, but if there's something that you would really like to add to your collection, as long as you're willing to be patient and do your due diligence, there is still hope of finding it at a decently reasonable price, as long as you also get just a little bit lucky. Military surplus firearms may be in a bubble. Bubbles happen in all asset classes. Sometimes financial bubbles can last for years, decades, even longer, and you never really know if something is in a financial bubble or not until the bubble pops, and it certainly hasn't popped when it comes to Milsurps. It may just be that these old military firearms are not in a bubble, and this is just the world that we live in. Prices are going to continue to increase from now on because the supply can only go one way, and that's down. There are not any more of these firearms being made. Mosin, Mauser, Enfield, the supply is what it is, and with demand being high from a constant influx of new collectors, I see Milsurp prices holding strong and sadly continuing to increase in value, unless this country undergoes some very significant economic changes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I truly appreciate each and every viewer out there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future military surplus firearms content, and let me know down in the comments if you think I got a good deal on this Russian M44 Mosin-Nagant. I will catch you guys in the next video. See you then. Peace.